Okay, so you've done it. You've built your startup, launched your website, and you're ready for the world. But how do you make sure the world can actually find you? Let's dive into a DIY guide for getting your startup discovered online.
So, does this sound familiar? You've poured your heart and soul into this new business, but when you go to search for what you do, crickets, you're just nowhere to be found. It's a super common, really frustrating problem. But hey, don't worry. It's one we can start to fix right now.
And you really want to pay attention to this because it's not just some nice-to-have thing. For most new businesses, seriously, search engines aren't just a source of traffic. They are the source. Getting this right is absolutely crucial for your growth.
So why does this even happen? I mean, it's probably not because your idea is bad or your product isn't needed. Usually, it's just because the digital foundation of your website, it's missing a few key ingredients that search engines, like Google, really need to see.
And look, this is the reality for so many entrepreneurs, right? You've got a tight budget, a lean team, and you are just moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So it's totally understandable that something like search engine optimization, or SEO, gets pushed to the back burner. The thing is, that one decision is exactly what can leave you feeling completely invisible.
But here's the good news. You don't need to be some kind of technical wizard, and you don't have to go hire an expensive agency right out of the gate. We're actually going to walk through a simple DIY health check to figure out the core issues and, more importantly, put you back in control of your own visibility. Okay, so we're going to break this down into 3 really manageable parts. First up, a quick technical checkup just to make sure your site is fundamentally sound. Then we'll do a content review to make sure it's speaking the right language. And finally, a quick scan of your site's structure, to make sure it's easy for both actual people and search engines to get around.
Okay, first up, the technical stuff. Just ask yourself these 4 simple questions. 1, is your site easy to use on a phone? 2, is it secure? Does it have that little padlock icon up in the browser? 3, does it load fast? And 4, are there any dead ends, any broken links? Seriously, these are the absolute basics that Google looks for first. All right, now let's talk content. The title tag. Think of this as your page's big, bold headline right there in the Google search results. And when you think about it, this is often the very first thing a potential customer is ever going to read about you. It absolutely has to be clear, it has to be compelling, and it needs to have the keywords they're actually searching for. I mean, just look at the difference a tiny change can make. A title that just says homepage, that tells Google and your customers absolutely nothing. But changing it to affordable web design Cyprus, boom. Now Google knows exactly what you do and where you do it. This simple switch is honestly one of the most powerful DIY changes you can make, period.
And here's another super common mistake. It's best to think of your page like a chapter in a book, right? It should only have one main title. That's your H1 tag. Everything else on the page should be a subheading, like an H2 or an H3. If you start using multiple H1s, well, you're just confusing the search engines about what the page's one single primary focus is.
Okay, so we've got the basics down. Now let's see how we can use them to start attracting customers right in your own backyard. If your startup serves a specific city or region, local search is going to be your secret weapon.
All right, take a look at this number, 60%. What do you think that could be? Yeah, that's the amount of web traffic in a place like Cyprus that comes directly from mobile devices. And look, while that specific stat is from Cyprus, the trend is happening everywhere. People are on their phones searching for services near me. This makes local, mobile-friendly optimization an absolute must-do. It's not optional anymore.
So how do you actually do it? It's way simpler than you might think. Number 1, go claim your free Google Business profile. That's the map listing you always see in search results. 2, make sure your name, address, and phone number are on your website, probably in the footer. And 3, start creating content that's specific to your local area. Something like a blog post titled Web Design in Limassol, for example.
Okay, so we've covered the technicals, we've talked about content, and we've hit the local focus. Now, let's tie all those pieces together to create a clear path for real, sustainable growth.
So the key here is that internal linking isn't just about randomly throwing links around. It's a strategy. It's about creating a logical web. So say you write a really helpful blog post on a topic. From that post, you create a link that points back to one of your main service pages. That simple action
guides both users and Google to your most important content, building authority and a clear site structure over time. And really, that's what this is all about. This simple DIY audit, look, it's not a magic bullet. It's not going to solve everything overnight, but it is your entry point. It's that first crucial step towards building a site that customers can actually find and that Google will want to rank. It's all about connecting you with the audience you deserve. So you have the checklist now. The question isn't if you can get found anymore, it's how you're going to start. I want you to look at your own site right now. What is the single first change you're going to make to finally get discovered? Thanks for joining me.